Except for Donald Trump's a piece of shit. Peace out, love you!
Donald Trump's re-election, a reality many find deeply unsettling. For the black community, it feels like a step backward, reopening wounds from his racially charged remarks and actions. From activists to artists, athletes to entrepreneurs, countless black figures have faced his biting words and dismissive behavior, leaving a trail of hurt and division. In today's video, we'll uncover the stories of 20 famous black people who have experienced racial discrimination from Donald Trump, offering a closer look at the painful reality behind his presidency. Barack Obama. Barack Obama, born on August 4, 1961, in Honolulu, Hawaii, made history as the 44th President of the United States and the first African American to hold the office. Elected in 2008 and re-elected in 2012, his tenure saw transformative achievements like the Affordable Care Act, which expanded healthcare to millions of Americans. Obama's leadership on the global stage earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, recognizing his efforts to foster diplomacy and cooperation over conflict. With grace and vision, he became a symbol of progress and hope in American history. Yet, as Obama rose to prominence, Donald Trump waged a campaign of unfounded attacks against him, leading the infamous birther movement. Trump repeatedly questioned Obama's birthplace, implying that his very identity and achievements were invalid. Despite overwhelming evidence, Trump's baseless demands forced Obama to release his birth certificate, an act that no president before him had been compelled to endure. Even after being proven wrong, Trump continued to disparage Obama, mocking and belittling him in a relentless effort to tarnish his legacy. These attacks served as a painful reminder of the prejudice and challenges faced by even the most accomplished black leaders in America. Central Park Five. The Central Park Five, Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray, Raymond Santana, Corey Wise, and Yusef Salaam, were just teenagers in 1989 when their lives were turned upside down. Wrongfully accused of a brutal assault in Central Park, these black and Latino boys faced a system eager to convict them despite a lack of evidence. After years of imprisonment, the truth emerged in 2002 when the real perpetrator confessed, exonerating them. During the height of the case, Donald Trump, then a wealthy businessman, played a chilling role. He spent over $85,000 on full-page newspaper ads calling for the return of the death penalty, effectively demanding the harshest punishment for these innocent boys. His actions weren't about justice, but about fanning the flames of racial prejudice, showing no regard for their youth or the lack of evidence. Trump's words were a sentence of condemnation, spoken with malice and disregard for their humanity. Even after their exoneration, Trump refused to acknowledge their innocence or apologize for his role in the hysteria. His silence was deafening, a final act of indifference that underscored his disregard for the truth and the lives he helped shatter. For the Central Park Five, the scars of that injustice remain, a painful reminder of a system and a man willing to sacrifice them for personal and political gain. Elijah Cummings. Elijah Cummings was a beacon of justice and determination, born on January 18, 1951, and serving Maryland's 7th District in Congress from 1996 until his passing in 2019. A native of Baltimore, he dedicated his life to uplifting disadvantaged communities, fighting for better education, infrastructure, and accountability in government. Known for his unwavering spirit, Cummings was a fierce advocate for equality, working tirelessly to combat racial discrimination within the U.S. justice system. But despite his lifelong dedication, Donald Trump targeted him and his hometown with disdain. In a shocking social media outburst, Trump called Baltimore a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess, dismissing not only the city but also the years of work Cummings had poured into improving it. The attack wasn't just on a city, it was a direct insult to Cummings' legacy and the resilience of the people he represented. Trump's words were a stark display of disregard, a reflection of his willingness to demean black leaders and communities without understanding their struggles. While Cummings fought to bring progress and hope, Trump used his platform to belittle, defame, and attempt to overshadow the tireless efforts of a man who stood for justice and equality. LeBron James. LeBron James, a name synonymous with greatness. Born on December 30th, 1984, he entered the NBA in 2003 and quickly rose to legendary status. From being named Rookie of the Year in 2004 to winning 4 NBA championships and earning 4 MVP titles, his basketball career is a testament to hard work and talent. Beyond the court, LeBron has become a symbol of hope and activism, especially through his I Promise School, founded in 2018, which provides underprivileged children with access to quality education and brighter opportunities. But even LeBron's immense success didn't shield him from Donald Trump's scorn. In 2018, after LeBron criticized Trump's policies during a CNN interview, Trump fired back, calling him the dumbest man on television. This wasn't just an insult, it was a blatant attempt to demean a black man who dared to speak out for justice and equality. Trump ignored LeBron's incredible contributions to his community, focusing instead on ridiculing his intelligence, a tactic steeped in prejudice. Despite the attack, LeBron remains undeterred, continuing to use his platform to uplift others and advocate for social change, proving that no amount of criticism can diminish his legacy. Don Lemon. Don Lemon, born on March 1, 1966, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has built a career as one of the most respected voices in American journalism. As a CNN anchor since 2006, Lemon has earned praise for his fearless approach to tackling tough issues, particularly racial discrimination and social inequality. His candid style, combined with his personal courage, publicly coming out as gay in 2011, has made him a powerful advocate for both the Black and LGBTQ+ communities. Lemon's determination to address uncomfortable truths has cemented his role as a leading voice in modern media. It's no surprise, then, that Donald Trump targeted Don Lemon in a personal and racially charged attack. In 2018, after Lemon interviewed LeBron James about Trump's divisive policies, Trump lashed out, calling Lemon the dumbest man on television. This wasn't mere criticism, it was an attempt to belittle a prominent black journalist who dared to challenge Trump's rhetoric. The insult wasn't just aimed at Lemon, it was a broader attempt to silence those who stand up for justice and equality. Despite the attacks, Don Lemon remained steadfast, continuing to shine a light on the issues that matter most, proving that no amount of prejudice can overshadow the power of truth and courage. John Lewis. John Lewis was more than a congressman, he was a towering figure in the fight for civil rights. Born in Alabama in 1940, Lewis dedicated his life to justice and equality. As one of the leaders of the civil rights movement, he faced unimaginable challenges, including a brutal beating during the infamous Bloody Sunday March in Selma in 1965. Despite the violence and adversity, Lewis never wavered, becoming a symbol of perseverance and hope. Serving in the U.S. House of Representatives for 33 years, he remained a champion for fairness, inspiring countless people across generations. When he passed away in 2020, the nation mourned the loss of a true hero. However, Donald Trump's response to Lewis's death was strikingly cold and dismissive. He refused to attend the funeral of this civil rights icon and offered only a shallow statement of condolence. For many, Trump's actions symbolized a lack of respect not only for Lewis, but for the entire movement he represented. This wasn't just a personal slight, it was a stark reminder of Trump's disregard for those who dedicated their lives to fighting racial inequality. While Lewis's legacy continues to inspire, Trump's indifference to his passing served as a painful example of the racial divide that still persists in America. Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, a talented NFL quarterback, became a national figure of protest in 2016 when he chose to kneel during the national anthem. His quiet, dignified action wasn't about disrespecting the flag or the military, it was a powerful stand against police violence and systemic injustice toward Black Americans. Kaepernick's protest sparked a nationwide conversation but came at a tremendous personal cost. He was blacklisted by the NFL, losing his career in professional football, yet he remained unwavering in his commitment to justice and equality. While many recognized the courage behind Kaepernick's actions, Donald Trump launched a relentless campaign of ridicule and criticism against him. Trump publicly referred to Kaepernick as a son of a bitch and urged NFL teams to fire him, fueling outrage among those opposed to the protest. Rather than addressing the racial injustices Kaepernick highlighted, Trump chose to fan the flames of division, using Kaepernick's peaceful protest as a political tool to galvanize his base. Kaepernick's kneeling brought attention to urgent social issues, while Trump's attacks underscored the persistent racial divides in America. Kaepernick stood for change, and in contrast, Trump's rhetoric only reinforced the systems of inequality Kaepernick sought to dismantle. Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters, born in 1938 in St. Louis, Missouri, has been a fierce advocate for justice and equality throughout her long political career. Starting as a member of the Los Angeles City Council in 1976, she became a U.S. Congresswoman in 1991, representing California with passion and determination. Waters has been a champion for civil rights, tirelessly fighting against racial inequality and advocating for transparency and accountability in government. Her leadership and resilience have made her one of the most prominent voices for the Black community in American politics. Donald Trump, however, launched a barrage of attacks on Waters, repeatedly calling her low IQ in a thinly veiled, racially charged insult. Trump's remarks came after Waters criticized his administration's policies and highlighted his lack of respect for marginalized communities. Instead of engaging with her critiques, Trump resorted to dismissive and demeaning language, attempting to undermine her credibility and contributions. These attacks weren't just personal, they symbolized a broader effort to silence and discredit a strong Black woman who dared to hold Trump accountable. Waters stood firm, undeterred by Trump's vitriol, continuing to fight for the justice and equality that have defined her career. Her courage in the face of such attacks remains a testament to her unwavering dedication to her community and her principles. Frederica Wilson. Frederica Wilson, a congresswoman from Florida, has spent over 4 decades championing women's rights, minority rights, and justice for Black Americans. Known for her bold advocacy and vibrant style, Wilson has been a powerful voice for her community. In 2017, she gained national attention when she spoke out about a phone call President Donald Trump made to the family of a fallen Black soldier. Wilson accused Trump of being insensitive and disrespectful, standing firmly by the grieving family in their moment of pain. Trump's response was swift and vitriolic. He dismissed Wilson as wacky and accused her of knowing nothing about the military, turning the focus away from her valid concerns and onto personal attacks. These insults weren't just about her appearance or her statements, they were part of a broader pattern of undermining strong Black women who dared to challenge him. Wilson's bravery in calling out injustice made her a target, but she refused to be silenced. Her stand against Trump highlighted the persistence of racism and the courage required to confront it, even in the face of relentless public criticism. Wilson's resilience serves as a powerful reminder of the strength it takes to fight for justice in an unjust system. April Ryan. April Ryan, a veteran journalist and White House correspondent, has been a relentless advocate for truth and fairness in American media. Starting her journalism career in the 1990s, Ryan became a respected voice in the White House press corps, where she focused on political and civil rights issues. By 2017, as a contributor to CNN, she had established herself as a fearless journalist who asked tough questions and held those in power accountable, even during turbulent times under Donald Trump's presidency. From the outset of his term, Trump made his disdain for Ryan clear. In press conferences, he repeatedly dismissed her questions with condescension and demeaning remarks. He would often retort with phrases like, "I don't know what you're thinking, but that's totally wrong," belittling her professionalism and contributions as a journalist. These interactions went beyond mere disagreements. They reflected a deeper hostility and a refusal to engage respectfully with a Black woman in a prominent role. Trump's treatment of Ryan was not just an attack on her as an individual, but a broader reflection of the systemic disrespect faced by Black women in positions of influence. Despite his efforts to undermine her, Ryan's unwavering commitment to truth continues to inspire, standing as a testament to resilience in the face of racism and hostility. Jemele Hill. Jemele Hill, a prominent sports journalist and outspoken commentator, has never shied away from addressing critical social issues. Known for her bold opinions, Hill made headlines in 2017 when she called Donald Trump a white supremacist on social media, sparking a heated public feud. Hill's statement came in response to Trump's controversial remarks and policies, reflecting her willingness to speak out against injustice. Trump's response was immediate and harsh. He not only criticized Hill's views, but also attacked her professional credibility, dismissing her as if her perspective didn't matter. His comments weren't just about disagreement, they carried undertones of racism, aiming to undermine her as a black woman who dared to voice her opinions. Despite Trump's insults and the backlash from his supporters, Hill stood her ground, refusing to be silenced. The conflict between Trump and Hill highlighted the challenges faced by black journalists and public figures who speak out against systemic racism. Hill's courage in the face of hostility serves as a reminder of the strength it takes to fight for truth and equality in a society still grappling with deep racial divisions. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton, a pastor, civil rights activist, and founder of the National Action Network, has spent decades fighting for justice and equality. Since establishing the organization in 1987, Sharpton has led countless marches and campaigns against racism, becoming a prominent voice for the oppressed. Known for his fearless approach, Sharpton has never hesitated to confront those in power, including presidents, when it comes to advocating for the rights of black Americans. Donald Trump, however, made Sharpton a frequent target of his disdain. After Sharpton openly criticized Trump's racist policies and rhetoric, Trump retaliated by calling him a fraud and a troublemaker. These insults weren't merely about disagreement, they were part of a pattern of dismissing and demeaning black leaders who challenged his actions. Trump's attacks went beyond personal insults, aiming to undermine Sharpton's decades of work for the black community. By degrading a respected figure like Sharpton, Trump revealed not only his unwillingness to engage with dissent, but also his reliance on divisive, racially charged rhetoric. Despite this, Sharpton has continued to stand strong, proving that no amount of hostility can erase a lifetime dedicated to fighting injustice. LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball, a devoted father and outspoken figure, became a target of Donald Trump's attacks after refusing to bow in gratitude to the president. In 2017, Ball's son, LeAngelo, and his teammates were arrested in China for shoplifting. While Trump intervened to help secure their release, LeVar Ball, true to his independent nature, declined to lavish public thanks upon the president. This simple act of defiance sparked Trump's wrath. Trump lashed out, labeling Ball ungrateful and publicly criticizing him for not expressing the level of gratitude Trump felt was owed. These remarks weren't just about personal offense, they carried an undercurrent of racial prejudice, portraying Ball as someone who needed to know his place. Trump's expectation that Ball should grovel for his assistance reflected a deeper arrogance and a troubling sense of entitlement. LeVar Ball's refusal to comply with Trump's demands highlighted his strength and dignity, showing that he wouldn't allow anyone, even a president, to diminish his value or dictate his behavior. The incident exposed Trump's tendency to demean black figures who didn't conform to his expectations, further demonstrating his pattern of divisive and racially charged rhetoric. Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London since 2016, has become a symbol of resilience and progress in the fight against racism and inequality. Born into a working-class Pakistani family in 1970, Khan overcame numerous challenges to rise to one of the most prominent political positions in the United Kingdom. As London's first Pakistani-British mayor, he has championed issues like environmental reform, housing, and transportation while advocating for diversity and inclusion. Khan's leadership has made him a strong voice against discrimination, standing firm on issues of justice and fairness. Donald Trump, however, saw Khan's presence as a challenge. He repeatedly criticized Khan, calling him the worst mayor of London and focusing on crime and security issues in the city. These attacks weren't just about policy, they were loaded with racial undertones, attempting to undermine Khan's legitimacy as a leader. Trump's disdain for Khan went beyond political disagreement. It reflected a broader prejudice, targeting a man of color who dared to question him. Khan's strength in the face of Trump's insults exemplifies his commitment to his role and the values he represents. Despite the hostility, Khan has continued to lead with dignity, standing as a powerful example of perseverance against prejudice. Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley has emerged as a powerful voice in American politics, tirelessly advocating for racial and social justice. Born in 1974, she made history as the first black woman elected to represent Massachusetts' 7th District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Before entering Congress, Pressley championed the rights of marginalized communities, fighting for equity and opportunity. In 2018, she joined the Squad, a group of progressive women of color in Congress, symbolizing a new era of diverse leadership and fearless advocacy for change. Donald Trump, however, unleashed a wave of criticism and outright racism against Pressley and her colleagues. Referring to the Squad as evil-minded, Trump told them to go back to where they came from, an incendiary and deeply racist statement directed at women of color who are U.S. citizens and dedicated public servants. Trump's remarks sought to delegitimize Pressley and diminish her role as a leader, reflecting his pattern of targeting women and people of color who dare to challenge him. Despite Trump's attacks, Pressley remains resolute, standing firm in her commitment to justice and equality. Her courage in the face of such hostility continues to inspire a movement for inclusivity and fairness in American politics, proving that no amount of prejudice can silence those fighting for progress. Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, born in Somalia in 1981, is a remarkable example of resilience and determination. After fleeing her war-torn homeland and settling in the U.S., Omar made history in 2019 as the first Muslim woman to represent Minnesota in the U.S. House of Representatives. A key member of the Squad, she has consistently fought for the rights of immigrants, the poor, and marginalized communities, becoming a powerful advocate for justice and equality. Omar's story is one of perseverance, breaking barriers, and inspiring change in American politics. However, Donald Trump targeted her with relentless attacks, often using racist and inflammatory language. When Omar criticized his administration, Trump labeled her evil and perpetuated xenophobic rhetoric by telling her and other members of the Squad to go back where they came from. These words were not just offensive, they were rooted in racism and aimed at delegitimizing her role as an American leader. Trump's comments didn't stop at personal insults, they fueled a broader wave of hostility toward immigrants, Muslims, and people of color. Despite these attacks, Omar remained steadfast, using her platform to challenge injustice and advocate for those who have been silenced. Her courage in the face of hate is a powerful reminder of the resilience needed to confront systemic prejudice and create meaningful change. Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, born in Somalia in 1981, is a remarkable example of resilience and determination. After fleeing her war-torn homeland and settling in the U.S., Omar made history in 2019 as the first Muslim woman to represent Minnesota in the U.S. House of Representatives. A key member of the Squad, she has consistently fought for the rights of immigrants, the poor, and marginalized communities, becoming a powerful advocate for justice and equality. Omar's story is one of perseverance, breaking barriers, and inspiring change in American politics. However, Donald Trump targeted her with relentless attacks, often using racist and inflammatory language. When Omar criticized his administration, Trump labeled her evil and perpetuated xenophobic rhetoric by telling her and other members of the Squad to go back where they came from. These words were not just offensive, they were rooted in racism and aimed at delegitimizing her role as an American leader. Trump's comments didn't stop at personal insults, they fueled a broader wave of hostility toward immigrants, Muslims, and people of color. Despite these attacks, Omar remained steadfast, using her platform to challenge injustice and advocate for those who have been silenced. Her courage in the face of hate is a powerful reminder of the resilience needed to confront systemic prejudice and create meaningful change. Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib, born in Detroit in 1976 to Palestinian immigrant parents, made history in 2019 as one of the first Muslim women elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and the first to represent Michigan. A dedicated advocate for the poor, immigrant communities, and marginalized groups, Tlaib has consistently stood against injustice and inequality. As a member of the squad, she has been a vocal opponent of Donald Trump's divisive policies, using her platform to champion progressive causes and fight for those often overlooked by society. Trump, however, singled her out for relentless criticism. He labeled Tlaib a disruptor and attacked her with hateful rhetoric, branding her as an enemy of the country. These insults weren't just political, they were deeply personal, targeting her identity as a Palestinian-American woman. Trump's words fueled racial and religious prejudice, portraying Tlaib as an outsider unworthy of her position. Despite the hostility, Tlaib has remained steadfast, refusing to be silenced by Trump's divisive tactics. Her courage in the face of these attacks continues to inspire, demonstrating her unwavering commitment to justice and equality for all. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, is a trailblazer who transformed U.S. politics. Born in 1989 in the Bronx, New York, she became the youngest woman ever elected to Congress in 2019. Representing New York's 14th District, AOC has been a fierce advocate for communities of color, immigrants, and working-class Americans. Her bold initiatives, like the Green New Deal, have earned her widespread recognition, while her unwavering stance against systemic injustice has made her a standout member of the squad. Donald Trump, however, saw AOC's rise as a threat. He launched relentless attacks on her, referring to her as the destroyer of America. These criticisms weren't just political, they carried a deeply personal and racist undertone, targeting her Puerto Rican heritage and her efforts to uplift marginalized communities. Trump's degrading remarks and threats against AOC and her colleagues from the squad were an assault on diversity, equality, and the ideals AOC represents. Despite Trump's attempts to undermine her, AOC continues to lead with passion and resilience. Her courage in the face of hostility has inspired a new generation of activists and leaders, proving that voices advocating for justice and inclusion cannot be silenced. Serena Williams. Serena Williams, born in 1981 in Saginaw, Michigan, is more than a tennis legend. She is a global symbol of resilience, empowerment, and excellence. With 23 Grand Slam singles titles, Serena has redefined greatness in women's tennis, breaking barriers and inspiring millions worldwide. Off the court, she has become a voice for women's rights and equality, embodying perseverance and self-belief in the face of adversity. However, even Serena's extraordinary success didn't shield her from Donald Trump's disparaging remarks. In 2018, Trump implied that Serena was favored within the tennis world, questioning the legitimacy of her victories. He even made mocking comments about her physique, perpetuating outdated and racially charged beauty standards. These remarks weren't just disrespectful, they reflected Trump's inability to accept a powerful black woman, shattering records and stereotypes. Trump's attacks on Serena were more than personal, they were a broader affront to the progress she represents. Yet, Serena's grace and resilience continue to inspire, proving that no amount of prejudice can overshadow her unparalleled achievements and the legacy she has built. Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, is a trailblazing figure who has captivated the world with her grace and courage. Born in 1981 in Los Angeles, Meghan found success as an actress, most notably in the series Suits, before marrying into the British royal family. Beyond her public image, Meghan has used her platform to advocate for racial equality and social justice, becoming a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. But Meghan, like so many others on this list, became a target of Donald Trump's disdain. After she expressed her disapproval of his administration and its policies, Trump publicly dismissed her, calling her someone who knows nothing and even suggesting she'd go back to America. These remarks were not just political, they carried undertones of racial and gender prejudice, targeting Meghan's identity as a biracial woman who dared to speak out. Trump's comments about Meghan mirrored his broader pattern of hostility toward individuals who challenge his views, particularly women and people of color. Meghan's willingness to stand against injustice made her a powerful voice, but Trump's attacks served as a reminder of how deeply rooted prejudice can manifest, even at the highest levels of power. This video's stories, highlighting 20 famous black figures who faced racism from Donald Trump, paint a stark picture of his rhetoric and actions. From icons like Serena Williams and LeBron James to advocates like Meghan Markle and Ayanna Pressley, Trump's pattern of diminishing black voices reflects an alarming disregard for equality and inclusion. His attacks weren't just personal, they were part of a broader strategy to silence and belittle those who dared to challenge systemic racism and injustice. If you believe these stories should reach more people, hit the share button and leave a comment below with your thoughts on combating racism and prejudice. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire, educate, and call for justice. Together, we can build a community that stands strong against hate and inequality.